Okay. I'm not sure if this is being recorded or not, but just in case you're watching the recorded version, I'm just working on some Patreon rewards. So we're just going to do some sketches today. And if anybody pops in and wants to chit-chat, that's cool too. Hopefully I'm not too loud. I'm sure I'll ask it again if somebody's actually watching in the chat, and then they can let me know. I just get some of that soothing nature music. So, let's get our Pomodoros all set up. Set our timer. 25 minutes, and then we'll jump back for a quick break. This Patreon member, they, I don't know if it's a lady or a guy, not that it doesn't matter, but they always send me pictures of, like, muscular dudes. Modeling, I suppose. It was actually kind of fun to draw, because I remember, when I used to work at a gas station in high school and also in college, it was usually the night shift, and it was pretty, relaxed. And, I'd always grab the muscle magazines and just draw the guys in there. Sometimes I'd draw the chick ones, but like I said, I always had guys are always cooler to draw. I don't know why. Maybe because there's like more room for error. And you guys can't see, the reference I have is off screen, but just gonna take some liberties here. I'm gonna make the shoulders a little bit more heroic. Just shoot them out. This guy's kind of got a bigger head. Thinner, some thinner traps there. So we figure out where all this is kind of going. This is a fun thing to do too. Sort of like using shapes there, and then sort of sculpting in where the muscles would go over top of all this stuff. It's an easy way to sort of, in a simple pose like this, where somebody's just standing there. But it's pretty easy to work in where, or give the illusion that things are making sense because you're just using like a shape. Instead of like exactly correctly where all the muscles would go. So he's kind of got smaller arms. And the other thing I should say too that I'm actually really fortunate of is when somebody asks me to do this sort of stuff, especially like for Patreon. So like Patreon has been amazing. I think anybody that has a Patreon account, you guys know what I'm saying. It's very awesome. But most of the time people ask you to draw like a character, right? Like a character they like or something. But every now and then you get like a really... For me, it's an awesome, I'll call them a client, when they send you something like this, because it sort of reminds me of like, hey Kitsy and Meow, how's it going? Okay, since you're the first person here, can you let me know if the audio, those soothing sounds, if it's too loud or if you can't hear me, and I can adjust that. What I was just saying is like, sort of how I started here, like this sort of stuff, sort of like I get to double dip a little bit here, like I'm getting paid for it, which is awesome, but it's also like an excellent chance to study, So very fortunate with that. We'll fix that hand in a bit. And I'm working very small here. Whoop, look at the size of that eraser. That way I can't really leave much room here for details. So that just slows us down. So there's actually going to be 3 of these that I'm going to be working on. 3 different commissions. This is the only one that's like this. They're all actually rather different. So we're going to be working on them in stages. That looks fine. So let's just blow that up there. Oops. Should be good. Oh, hey, David. Thanks. Thanks for letting me know. I hope you guys have all been well. I haven't done any streaming in a very long time. Oh, well, actually, very long. What's it been, like 2? It's probably been 3 weeks. Maybe it's been a month. Interesting stuff. Okay, so let's open up the last one. You guys can actually see where this is going to end up going, sort of along the same route. What I want is this frame. Where is it? Oh, I merged it down. Okay. That's what I want. So we're just going to copy and paste. And it's a fun little trick here. I'm going to just actually rotate this. I don't want to say it's, well, it's sort of dishonest. Instead of redrawing, it's just a quick little way of using the same asset here instead of redoing it all the time. So if you match them up next to each other, it won't look the same. Just by rotating and flipping and stuff. Just make sure he fits in there. Put that above everything here. Yeah, it looks good. So we'll save that one up. Hey, Hobby, how you doing? Okay, so that's one down. Now these other ones are going to go a lot slower because the reference isn't the same. So let me just actually read what they are. Okay, so that's this one done. Let's check off our breakdown. So this one, Alan Walker from Dr. Greyman. Now, I don't know who that character is. I got some reference here for these things. But some of the tricky parts, and this is the part that bugs me about me, not getting a commission or something. But like, if I don't know the character, what sucks is it's like, okay, well, I gotta find out a little bit about them because like sometimes there's little quirks that they have that you'd be nice to draw. You know, like Magneto. Let's just say you never knew Magneto was, so you'd probably just draw him in like a maybe a heroic pose, maybe a villain pose. But if you know him and he's got like metal properties, or like his mutant powers to manipulate metal, well, that just knowing that little tweak or that little character design, like that opens up a world of possibilities of like what you could actually do with the character, right? So that's the part here. So sometimes what I like to do is just kind of look through the wiki if they have them. So let's see what this character is about. Is the main protagonist in a reference to the series Dr. Greyman. Alan is a former exorcist. See, there we go. Now we're kind of getting there. And a member of the European branch of the Black Order, which is now seen and classified by them as Noah, the 14th. He is also currently the current host of the former Noah Nea Walker. He is the adopted son of... Okay, I don't know who any of these people are. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so there's a giant sword. Average height. A lot of scars. Parasitic type innocence takes the form entirely of the left arm. Okay, see, now we're kind of getting into that. So let me see. I just want to double back and see what the reference was that she gave me. Alright, and we'll just do a quick Google image search. I apologize, this is all off camera here. I just want to see, sometimes you can just do like also another quick cheat, is just kind of look on Google and see what other people are doing. You know, because a lot of times people that do fan art, they do fan art of characters they like. So you can sort of figure kind of the style of the character and stuff a little bit before actually getting in there. So a lot of the handout sort of stuff. Okay. Yeah, please, guys. You guys got questions? By all means, please throw them out there. Kitsy saying, do you have any advice on drawing faces when the panel's characters are very small? Yeah, I think the easiest way. Easy is always relative, but something I would do is if something's very small, it's just like the features and play with the lighting. So let's just say, I'm going to scribble on a quick face here. Let's say it's very, very small here like this. I'm going to lower the opacity. So maybe the light's just coming from above, so you can just do little things like, okay, so that would be the eyes and then the nose. Sometimes you don't even need to show the mouth, but it's sort of just relying on shadow. Because what shadow lets us do is it lets us... our eyes only see in 2D, right? In a 3D world, and if it wasn't for light and shadow, there's no way you would actually tell what something is, how far it is, and then those sorts of things. So if this is really small, like this far back, maybe you don't draw on a lot of shadows and stuff, but you can still sort of like insinuate where just sort of drawing where the shadow is instead of drawing all the lines that kind of go into that. Right? Like maybe you could just put a little line here. Maybe they got some hair, whatever. But it's just like the main features of like what a face would look like in an icon. Meaning, if you ever play like a mobile game or even on Facebook or something like that, you know how people they have like icons for things, right? Like add your friends. It's like this. It's like the silhouette of a person. That sort of thing. If you can kind of think of that in your head, for me anyway, it helps a lot. Because again, like look at that face, it's pretty far away, and you still know it's a face just because of again where the light is. You could like, if you really wanted to jazz it up. I mean, don't go this far if you don't add a lot of shadow in your work. But I'm trying to make it a little gross here so you can kind of see, and it still retains the somewhat properties of a face there. The somewhat properties of a face, whatever that means. Hey, enjoy your holiday break, bud. Yeah, what Hobby's saying too, don't zoom in too much. A little trick I would give you guys is, and I saw somebody post this a long time ago, and it's sort of in here now, but two things. One, right here, or in your navigator, or you can just go to Window, Canvas, New Window, and it'll duplicate the window. And you can actually drag it down here. I do this all the time in the videos I show with you guys. In case you wanted to, like, get rid of all of your menus, right? Hit Tab. It's still there, so whatever I draw here is going to show up there. That's one way to always, keep yourself honest. The other way is actually going into File. Oh God, is it Preferences? Just give me 1 second here to find it. Yeah, okay, so Canvas. Now you can actually see, I don't know, there's a lot here, but you can actually add or delete all these scales. And what is this scale? The scale is right here. Whenever you hit like zoom in or zoom out, right? So if you're like using your keyboard to zoom in and out, this is the actual amount that it registers that you put in there. So what's the point? Well, if you're like me and sometimes you do 11 by 17 like traditional comic book size, I can actually get my artboard, put it on my little small Cintiq here. If you're not using a Cintiq, you could use the screen you're drawing on. Just put a piece of paper on your screen and just finesse, like slightly zoom in and sort of figure out where it's very close to. That way you can mirror what it's like to actually draw on a piece of paper if you're on your desk, and zoom out to like what it would be on a print. Hopefully that makes sense. And that way you can it's like a safe fail-safe, because with digital we can zoom in so much that it's exactly that problem. We get stuck in doing just that. You go in there and you spend all this time doing all this detail, and like you can't even see it. Is very specific scar. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, the reference I got here is cool. Hopefully we can get something there. Yeah, and check your favorite artists. Just flip through their work and see what they do with, like, especially comic book work. It's the best because you'll see how people draw like crowds, and you can see how they're dealing with that, like drawing so many people at a distance. Hey, no problem. Okay, so let's get back to this here. Let's open up. Who else was this? This one is from her. Alright, let's go into this. This was the last one we sent her. I actually enjoyed that one. That was a lot of fun to do. Okay, that's not going to work. Trying to find this frame again. Alright, well, we'll just paste it in. So I think I'm going to use the same one for her, because we can kind of get like this a little bit more dynamic anime. I don't want to say anime. Manga look to it. So let's make a new folder. I'm going to make a new layer. I can't paste it in. Copy, paste. I don't know if this one's going to work, or maybe we'll have to draw a new one. Oh, there we go. Cool. I just like using this too, because it sort of just like gives me a place to draw in. Alright, so let's do this. Let me just duplicate my window here, because I do this off screen. I know you guys can't see it, but this way I can sort of do what I was just saying with you guys. I have like a little check off screen to see how it looks zoomed out. Alright, so we can work a little smaller here for a thumbnail before we blow it up. So I don't know what that is. That's part of the costume. Alright, well, kind of saw some people, they're doing something real slick with the hand. I'll have to double check my reference here, but I think we can get like a really gnarly hand or something possibly. Now, this is a protagonist, so I want to have their chest just popped up a little bit to give them a little bit more of that, again, that heroic look. And then we'll like kind of bring the head down like this. There's a lot of costume elements, but I think this will be fine. I don't know what we're going to do with the second hand. But like there's this little thing. I know some of you guys in the chat, you guys might know more about this character. Do you know what this? It's yellow, and it looks like this. It's got like a cross in here, some wings, and then like a tail or something. Do you guys know what that is? Is that part of the costume? What we can actually do here, I know the wings aren't that big, but we can kind of get some framing with it too. Right? So check this out. What's the intent? Where do I want people to look? I want them to look, I guess, at this claw hand. So even this character can be looking here, but this thing's got a tail. So we can actually bring it like that and just sort of have it point as well. It's his pet. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for knowing this stuff. It helps big time. So I'm going to lower the opacity. Just take one quick check on the old Google just to see what people are drawing for this hand. Because I see some that are like blades and stuff. Alright, let's draw that. And what I'm actually going to do here is... that's fine. I'll leave it alone. So let's draw the hand here. Cross that goes in here. I don't know what's going on with these rings and stuff, but clean it up a little bit. Oh, thanks, guys. No, there won't be any colors. What I do here is I just do like a marker pass. Thank you, though. I do appreciate that. So his arm, I mean, in the reference I got, it's... So I want to keep it sort of similar to what she sent me. I don't want to go too crazy here. Okay, what the hell am I doing with the hand here? So the muscle's going to come here. This character's not ripped, so I'm not going to... Actually, I think what we'll do is I'm going to make this much larger. Just to get it in your face a little bit more, you know? Yeah, I like that. That's cool. So I'm going here. And I'm just worried about the anatomy for the most part right now. I'm going to put the costume on when we do the breakdowns. And I don't need to know every piece of anatomy here, just enough to get it through. And I find a lot of these manga characters, it's ridiculous, but I try to go a little bit more feminine with it. Meaning like the skinnier waist. And I don't want to say shoot the hips out, but you can go a little bit broader at the shoulders. And definitely helps. Let me bring this out, make it a little bit more dramatic. Because I find a lot of manga, for whatever reason, the males tend to be a little bit more feminine. At least in my experience. Not that, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want to keep that in line because I do, like some people like that aesthetic, right? So I don't want to screw that up. I don't want to mess around with that too much. Dude, how the his arm changes size and form when it's activated, so don't worry about too much anatomy of the arm. Oh, really? It gets a little crazy? Okay, so... Thanks, I'll just... So that's what happens. Let's get right... Gonna get some of that action going on. And I don't know what the other arm's gonna be doing. We'll figure that out in a second. But we're gonna want his little pet here. So I'm not gonna put it behind his face, but what I can do is sort of like... By bringing the feathers like this angle, I can sort of block off where people are looking, hopefully, right? So just by doing that, here, let me turn off the background there, so you can kind of, it's like this nice rhythm, sort of like a circular motion. Their eye is going to naturally come in here, and we can bring the tail and again do that pointing stuff. So everything's looking at that arm. He's amazing. So let me actually just save this here. And this is breakdown. Failed to save, why? Oh, I don't think so. Tell me I can't save. Alright, so that's enough here. Again, we're going to get into the breakdowns and all that stuff soon, but let's sort of format this in the best way. You know what? Just thinking, this might actually be better if we go like this. Edit, rotate canvas, 90 degrees. I think this will work better, just the way that the pose is going and stuff. Yeah, I like that much better. And then we can kind of fix this stuff up here. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, save that up. Actually, you know what? I've heard so many people talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I picked up the first manga. I think it was like a hardcover. It was actually really nice. I think it's like the first 3 books or something, like how a lot of them do. I could be wrong. I didn't like it at all. The writing was atrocious. I thought it was just not that the story was bad, but like the dialogue and stuff just wasn't my cup of tea. Just didn't feel like it. They're not all winners, you know. Not everybody can like everything here. Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard my alarm went off here. And if you're not familiar, I'm doing the. I like to work with the Pomodoro technique. I got a video on that. Check it out. You basically work for 25 minutes, and then you take like about a 5-minute break. So I'll be right back. I'm just going to put this up on the screen for anybody else that's coming back, and I will be right back, you guys. Okay. Hey everybody. Reinhardt. Oh god. So Overwatch, how about that? I bought it. I double dipped that game too. I bought it for PC because my brother and all I guess his friends that play. I don't really have too many friends that are online with that stuff, but yeah, played it on there. But my computer is not very good. Graphic card is real bad. It's like playing pixels, nasty pixels. So I bought it for PS4, but it ain't the same. It doesn't have that high frantic thing because you can't move as fast, and I don't know. I haven't really been playing it much. I just got back into Street Fighter 5. Just really enjoy that game. But yeah, all the character designs for Overwatch are insane. Absolutely insane. Great game. Alright, so where are we at here? We got this one. No, don't save that. So we're going to have this guy, that guy. And we got one more. Now this one. Let's see what this one was. I forget what this one was. Ooh, Punisher. Punisher. Well now. Punisher, Punisher, Punisher. Do we have one for this guy yet? Let's see. Sean? Nope. Okay. So let me get this all set up here. Dark Souls. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was playing Bloodborne for a little bit too. And then Overwatch came out and it kind of pulled me away. And then Street Fighter just got so much into it. It's the only game that I've played for a while now. Yeah, Overwatch is awesome, don't get me wrong. But Street Fighter, I know it's a fighting game, so it doesn't draw as many people into it. But it's something that I've played for a very long time. Since I was growing up. I'm sure a lot of you guys played it too. And it's definitely that one-on-one aspect and just kind of getting a little bit better. It's really exciting. Although I guess a lot of games are like that too, so. Thanks, Ada. I'm saying your name right there. So these commissions here, they're just they're pretty quick stuff. I don't want to spend too much time on them. I want to make them as awesome as I can. But it's not like a full-blown commission, right? But I don't want to make that sound like because it's not. People aren't spending the big bucks, we'll say. And I'm not putting as much passion or anything like that into it, which is, BS. But they are cheaper than the big ones, so it's sort of like I can't devote as much time to it, really. So I have to find places to sort of skim areas, and what that usually ends up being is like the thumbnail process. So sort of like whatever I feel like, and they might make the commissions a little more plain, like right now. A lot of the poses are pretty flat, but this is close to anybody that's gone to conventions. Hopefully you guys understand. If you're an artist especially and you've done conventions and people give you sketches to do or commissions, you always want to make like the best you can. But sometimes because if you're lucky and you get like a volume amount of people that just want commissions, it's like you gotta hammer through them as best you can. That's why a lot of like and I'm not comparing myself to these people, but a lot of the people like Jim Lee and a lot of the big people, they'll just do head sketches because you can hammer it out pretty quickly and still make it look, awesome. Now this one for sure, since it's Punisher, you gotta have guns, including his arms. But I'm not going to actually draw guns. I'm just going to bring them in from, what's it called, SketchUp. So we'll get to load some of that up. I'm just trying to think here. If I had a gun, I think his arm, we could do the classic, just find like a really cool gun and bring a gun this way. Maybe like a little pistol or something over here. Just trying to think if maybe we could just rest it over his back. I think we can just go with that. I'm kind of like looking his head up a little bit here. And like this one's, you know, pretty much done. Depending on the model we get for the guns. Maybe it's like a shotgun or something. Oh, you did? And did any people bite? Did you get any commissions, man? All right, so workflow. We've got our thumbnails, which these are. Now we're going to jump into breakdowns on all three. And I'm batching the work, so I'm going to be doing all three at the same time. That way I can stay in the same mindset of where we're going. So what's the breakdown? The breakdown is going to, I don't know if I have anything here. Kind of similar to this. This is actually close to a breakdown, but I'm going to break it down just a little bit more. And you can kind of worry about costume elements and stuff like that. And I don't know if we're going to, you know what, I'm actually going to pull in, because it's one of the benefits of like SketchUp and stuff is the model never changes, right? So if I get the model in now, I can work around it. So we're going to have that, and we're just going to F3 that, turn it blue. I'm going to save this guy. So now we're into, oh crap. Can we rename this? Actually, you know what, it doesn't even matter. We can just keep staying here. So let's open up SketchUp. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, thanks. No, it feels good to be streaming again. Like I said at the beginning, it's been, I don't even know how long, almost like a month, maybe more. I'm sure you guys will know more than I would. Not responding. No, we can get a new model later. Let me bring it down here so you guys can see what we're going to be doing. Hobby saying we had a local Comic-Con and we paid for a table where we sat and drew in front of people and sold prints. The artists there were so nice. So nice. Awesome. Did you have a good time there? Hey Inkbot, how's it going, buddy? So let me open up. I think I actually have some saved. I don't know where they're saved to. How do you just save this stuff on my desktop? Let's see, SketchUp. Sketchbook. Oh, I know where it is. It's probably my master reference. SketchUp and models. There we go. Models, guns. So I already got a pistol and two kinds of rifles. Well, I mean, we got to take a look at all of them. We're going to do one at a time? Cool. Let's see what this one is. You'll not be able to load this file in previous version of SketchUp if you save it. Okay, well, we're not going to save it. So this one's at, oops. This one's actually a really nice one. I like that one. Let's take a look at the second one. I think this one's more, yeah, look at this one. This one's like a sniper almost. This one's meaty. I don't know which one I like. What's that, Daryl? So, I'm not going to talk about the first question you had there. But, I don't actually load in models. I think that's one of the things a lot of people don't understand, or they get confused, I should say. And it makes sense, because in Manga Studio you can import objects, right? So you can import these models and stuff. But that's not what I do. It might be better to do it that way, but I haven't played around with it too much. I'm still in that a Photoshop method, where what I'll do is I'll just export like a TIFF of the screen. So once I have this image here, that's what I manipulate in Manga Studio. It's not an actual model. So that makes it a little bit easier as well. So I believe you can just use a free version to be able to do that. And if you can't export, you can just hit print screen and draw over it. It saves a little bit of time, or it'll take a little bit more time because you have to drop, but all that. Weird question, how tall, wide is Jessup? I've been working on a 3D model. A 3D model? Don't be teasing me like that, that's awesome. Yeah, he's about 10 feet tall, wide, I don't know. Think of, maybe this will make it easier for you. Think of Zangief from Street Fighter, or the Juggernaut, or the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. Those kinds of characters are like the body type, I suppose. He's a little thinner at the waist, but he's not... He's more like a rectangle than like a skinny waist with like big upper body. Yeah, I use, I mean, I should probably use legit, draw this stuff myself to improve that stuff, but again, I can't get out of that mindset of digital's just better in a lot of ways. To use the digital tools we got. Anyway, okay, so actually I'm going to just use the first one here. I don't want it to be as long, because I want to fit more of the Punisher in the image than the actual gun. So, sometimes you'll get weird things happening, like that backing up there, and I think it's, let me see here. Yeah, I got everything saved up. So, this is where it kind of gets weird. I do this, it's going to be a little odd because I'm doing it here with you guys. But, so here's a picture of the Punisher. So it's just like a side shot. But maybe we can get like a little bit more of an angle so we can kind of get the... Just trying to think here, if I was holding it, what would be closer to me here? So I'm standing here, and you would see... Yeah, it'd be a little bit more like that. And this does get a little tricky. I know it might be a little weird to see with you guys because you don't understand what we're going to be doing here, but you'll see it in a second here. So I'm just trying to find the angle. See, that should be good. So I'll just go to File, Export, 2D Graphic. That's what I'm looking for. And I'll just save it to my desktop right now. I think I got like a garbage place where I dump all the stuff in here. Yeah, temporary image folder. You can see there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Rifle 1, yeah, I'm going to go to Options first. And you can actually change the stuff. And what's cool is if I go here, it's just something I like to do. You don't always have to do this, but... So if we go into Manga Studio, and go Edit, change Canvas Size. Let me just bring this down here so you guys can see it. I'm going to change this to pixels, and I'm just going to write this down here. I'm more concerned with the height, I guess. And that's 2,336. Go here, and this just keeps image sizes down and stuff, I guess. I don't know, I just enjoy using this. Anti-aliasing, transparent background, sure. Let's do all that stuff. And we're going to export. Okay, cool. And then let's see how this worked. Okay, so you guys can see here, we got that. Let's go, I think it's just import. Image. And where is it? Rifle 1. Is that it? Yep. Alright, we got our gun. Now what's really cool is the model, since it's complete, you can actually see that the gun itself, oops, it's got the whole image there. It's sort of blocking out everything behind it, which is great. So I'm just going to shrink it up. Whoops. I just want that there. So you can kind of see how much of this image we actually need. Man, this thing is wide. Transform. Let me transform. I'm going to bring it over this way so we can get more of the Punisher in here. Actually, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to go here and I'm just going to rasterize this because I can't manipulate it the way I want. Let's bring it a little bit in like this. So you can see already, like, I can kind of... Oh, right. Sorry. I forgot that I moved the background a little bit already. So let's bring this back in. And, yeah. So we'll have that. Let's get our gun. Let's rotate it a bit. Sort of fitting it in. Just going to lower the opacity. And actually, I'm going to change this to gray. I don't need this as color anymore. Move this up. Maybe we got to rotate a little bit more. I'm just trying to look at like where the finger hole is going to be here, so maybe it's a little bit behind him. That's cool. Okay, so we'll have that, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw over top of this. I'm going to change the mode to multiply so we can still see through it. Right, and like that saves us so much time, you guys. It's obviously, you can tell there's so much time that actually saves here. Alright, so we'll have that, and let's start doing some legit breakdowns. So I'm going to keep the brush still pretty big. That way, I even though I want to, I sort of have to fight myself into working with this bigger brush, because what it does is it makes it so that I can't work in too many details. You sort of have to just figure out some of these shapes as you go. Erase some of this up here. Adam's apple. Alright, so we got a little bit of a collarbone. He's not really doing too many crazy things with his anatomy here. Big old beefy neck. That might be a little too beefy. Here we'll just start figuring out some of this muscle. We're going to suck his gut in here, and then I'm going to cut it off maybe a little bit before the groin. I don't want to end it right at the groin because it just looks odd, like you're ending the bottom of the image like we're with his penis, you know? It's always just weird. That's why a lot of people, you know what, I'll actually, maybe I'll bring it up a little bit more. We'll cut it off like around here. It's like cutting somebody off at the ankles. It just makes the whole image look really odd. Alright, we'll turn that blue. Oh, I can get the rest of the arm in here. So, actually, I totally forgot. So this one more time. We're not done. And where's he at? Here. SketchUp. He's got a pistol that we wanted. Let's take a look at see which one this is here. Cool, looks good. These are ones I've used for many projects, and what I've started doing, if you guys are wondering, like, what the hell, save like a folder on your, if you use SketchUp anyway, save a folder on your desktop of good models you find, because you never know when you're going to need a gun, especially if you're working in like comic books, right? Like, there's a lot of times when you got to draw thugs, or just guns especially, or cars. And you don't always want to have to look online for models. If you find it, just save it. That way you can always use it again. And I'm just going to tilt the gun instead of keeping it totally sideways, just to have it be a little bit more interesting. Tilt it this way. Jessup. 2D graphic options. Let's make sure that's still the same. Yep, cool. Import image like we did last time. Where's it? Pistol. And we'll reduce the size. Alright, we're just going to rasterize it like we did last time. You see how just kind of tilting it makes it a little bit more interesting. I'll put that on multiply, and let's keep reducing the size. I gotta sort of keep it in line with the trigger back here. That way the guns sort of look the same. That's just something I use as like a guide. I try to line up. I know they are different in reality, but just try to keep it a little bit similar here. Because actually now that gun looks super tiny. Ugh. Maybe we're just going to take some liberties here. Yeah, I'll go with that. Crotch. Alright, so I'm going to start with the hand. Hey, buddy. You meowing? What's up, Jojo? What you doing? Okay. Just want to make sure I have enough room here. So all those hands are going to wrap around the gun here. Some knuckles. This thumb's going to wrap around. And then from here, this lets us just sort of figure out everything else. So wrists, and we're going to get those muscles. Hey, bud. Hi. Yeah, we're going to have a break in about 10 minutes so we can play, okay? I know you want to play now. I know. We'll play soon, bud. And in the breakdown stage here as well, we're trying to get everything we're going to need to get to the tight line art. So let's flip it, take a look at this arm. Curve up some of those muscles here. So that arm looks good, kinda. We'll see. We'll see how we feel as the piece keeps going. So we're gonna have that. We can delete this hue saturation layer. This doesn't have to be blue anymore. And I'm actually going to delete some of the line art below it. And I want to keep the rifle and the pistol on their own layers. I do not want them merging with anything, because that way, like, they're already drawn, right? There's no reason to do that. So let's merge the two together. I don't think we need to add anything to the face. So let's get this second arm happening. So we're gonna have this thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure it's roughly the same size as his other hand. It's one thing that sucks. Like, you can tell sometimes when people, myself included, kind of get lost in what you're doing, and mistakes happen. Like, the hands get smaller when you're using models and stuff. Yeah, looks fine. Alright, let's turn off our rough layer. So this is pretty much what we'll be taking to our final line art. I mean, it should be good. Maybe what we can do in the background here too is, let's sort of get like the eye kind of coming across, right? So we're going to see the guns and stuff, but maybe we can go this way with it. Kind of circle this way, and we can get like some gun shots or something around them. Just some details. Right? Alright, let's save that. Now I just need to look online for Punisher costume. Punisher costume. I always like the original kind of thing. Is that right? Yeah, we'll go with that one. That one looks good. And I will draw that in red. Let's change up the color. Whoa. And I'm going to put it on multiply so you can kind of see through it as well. So you got like this turtleneck kind of thing. Going to keep that sharp. Comes up, he's got the Vegeta hairline. And it comes down like this. It's all slicked hair. Cool. So there, we got the big skull. Oh, where is this? Here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got some pockets. It's kind of hard to do. Kind of feel, now that I'm looking at this stuff, that his like arms are really stubby. So let me try something here. I don't want to cut the joints of the arms off and stuff, but this is... his arms just look like he's way too tight, like he's not enjoying himself here. I feel like some of these... there we go, I can get like a better shoulder in here. Looks a little bit more comfortable. We'll figure this arm out when we get to the Lineart. Not too. Actually, here I want to do this. I want to make sure there's a line up here. Forgot about that. Just to give it that bulbous shape, you know. And does he have like these? I don't know if we're gonna do this. I'll just put them in there just in case. I don't know if he's got like the big gaunt lips and stuff. All right, what else has he got before we wrap this up? He's got like these gloves, right? I don't like them loose, so we're going to keep them nice and tight on him there. I think that's it for his costume. Cool. Alright, so let's save this up. That one's done. Next down, we're going to jump on this one, I guess. And this one is breakdown as well. So we just grab my reference on that. This one again is Dr. Greyman. Nope, I lied. This one looks like a fitness model kind of dude. This one's going to be very fast. All I need to do is just sort of like the anatomy's, you know what, like I might actually just leave the anatomy. I'm just going to work on the face here. Just give us a little bit more room to work with here. Goofy smile on him.
Big old chin. Hair. Alright, kind of fix up some of the stuff here. No, what brush? This is. You can kind of see over here. All it is. I have it as a very slightly pressure-sensitive brush. You don't really need to. It could just be like flat, totally flat. But it's just an increased size. It's big, right? Like this is as thin as I can get. That's as big as I can get. So I can't. It forces me again to not do this. Like use this brush, you know, like this deadline, because I can go in here and I can start noodling. And in this stage, I find it's just get rid of it. Don't even worry about it just yet. Fight through it. Fight through all that. But I can make this work a little bit better. You know, you don't need to worry about it just yet. Okay, this guy's shoulder's messed up. Let's bring him back down that way. And it just keeps things on point here. You don't have to worry about beautiful artwork. Alright, so his anatomy's pretty much, I don't know, it's on point. His booty shorts are real short, so I'm gonna come in here, and then they got him like way down here. So this thigh goes that way, this thigh goes that way. Get some stretch around the package area. Pretty much good to go. And I will delete that layer. And this one I'm just going to lower it just a bit so we can still kind of see it. That should be good enough to get to the final line. Okay, so we can save that. This one's always pretty quick. These ones are 600 DPI. But you can actually see like the actual, it's, edit, let me see. Canvas size. So the pixels for this image here, it's pretty small. 1300 by like 2300. It's not like 11 inches by 17 inches. It's not like a comic book size. It's pretty small here. Alright, let's open up the other one. Nice, good timing. Okay, so I'm going to take another 5-minute break here. Pomodoro just went off. When we get back, we'll do the breakdown for this one, and then we're going to get into the line art. And that one's usually pretty fun, and then the inking, it actually goes pretty quickly. So, just see you guys in about 5 minutes, and we'll be right back. Okay. Set the old Pomodoro for 25 minutes. Alright, let's get the glove on here. Sounds like we're doing surgery or something. Okay. So, whoops, I got the wrong reference up. Alright, so we got this guy. So I just want this for the hand, and then I got a different reference. So it's just regular knuckles here. I'm going to take a little bit of artistic freedom on this. You guys are... forget who was saying this sort of stuff is pretty crazy. Some overlapping shapes there to make it a little bit more interesting. Just gonna bring this one out here just to stretch that. Like if I stretch the hand out this way, it's going to make it just a little bit more dynamic, I guess you could say. So we're getting a nice stretch in there, you know. And then this, I think I saw some stuff. People were like, I don't want to go Winter Soldier on this, but maybe we can... yeah, I don't know. Actually, I think it might just be safer to just rip the clothes up here. Because I don't know exactly what the design is. Maybe we can get like some inky textures there. Let's bring up, where are we at here? Thanks, man. Alright, let's get the face going. Faces can tend to be a little harder to draw with these big fat brushes. But it just tries to force you into being a little bit more aware, I guess, of the lines you're using. And this cat's tattoo, I'm going to put, what's it called? Put that in once we get into the line art. Hey, how's it going, James? He's kind of got the skinny neck going. We're going to put the costume on in a second here. Just get that anatomy in there. Shoulder action. And all of this we're not going to see, but I do find it helps to put it in anyway. Before we get the clothes going. Let's get the ribs. Big old fat lats. So you can see my anatomy is getting much different than like where my thumbnail was or whatever, but that's fine. Actually, you know what? I gotta be careful here. I don't want to... actually, I might bring some more rips this way. Like the tears kind of... maybe that'll give us the motion. And again, remember what we said earlier? I don't want to end it right at the crotch. It just makes it look weird. And I think I'm just gonna skip, actually, his, his back arm. Might just cheat. I'm gonna cheat. Now this guy here... actually, we don't need to draw that guy. And these are for Patreon rewards. So if the people that pledge this, it's the $15 amount, and what they get is one of these sort of commissions for whatever character they like. So we're just working on those. Cool. So that's enough information there. Looks good. Let's save that up. No, this isn't for Casa Dracula. No. Multiply, color. I'm going to go red. Now I'm just going to put in the costume, because the costume's, I don't know, it's sort of like a typical anime costume, where it's got like all this stuff on it. So I think it just goes in the middle like this. Some big old buttons. And sort of like this hood action. Some cool shoulder pads. That's pretty much it. Most of the stuff I'm sneaking by, so we don't even have to see see like the actual costume elements. Okay, so let's save it up. And I think we're just going to start with this. Okay, so now we got the breakdowns done. So now we're going to go through everything, and we're going to do our line art. So let's save this as a different file, just in case you ever have to go back. Line art. And we're going to turn everything blue there. Put this in its own new file or folder. Now go back to blue. And now we're going to use our small pixel brush here. Actually, let me just check this one. I want to make sure I'm using the same lines. Yep, okay. So close that out. And we're going to make a new window for this so I can keep this off screen. Hey V, how's it going, bud? Alright. Let's get this face over with here. So I kind of want to see if I can keep it a little anime-ish. You did the... So why did you drop the Pomodoro stuff? Did it just not work the way you were hoping to work, or... Did you just get out of the habit? I've got this new, I don't want to say new technique, but this new way that I've been drawing eyes lately is I'll start, usually I would normally have started with like the whole, what is this, the pupil? Is this the pupil or the iris? Shit, I should know this. I think the iris is the color and the pupil's the middle, yeah. So I would start with something like this, right? And just sort of go from there. But now, lately, what I've been doing is I start with the pupil. Because the pupil is like where the focus is, right? Actually, that's really wrong. It's in front of them, so let's put it... Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, he was looking real goofy for a second there. When you plan, you feel like your freedom is taken away. No, you're not wrong at all. I think some people, they just work differently, that's all. I do think checking out time management things is great. Some people work really well with the Pomodoro, like I do, and some people work better with just like scheduling. Tonight I'm going to work for a few hours, and you just sort of go from there. That's all. But I do think it's very important. Just if anything, it just lets you be a little bit more consistent with making sure you've got time and you're making time for your stuff. And I know I'm not the same at all. I prefer I'm a little bit different, and this isn't criticizing you at all, ever. I don't criticize people with this stuff. But I feel like I get more freedom if I schedule everything to a degree. I don't want to schedule my life, but especially my work, if I can just schedule in what I need to absolutely get done that day, and as long as I'm able to get it done as close as I can. If I can't get it done, I can't beat myself up for it, unless it's absolutely due that day. But for the most part, if I can just schedule it and get it done, I feel like I've not only achieved something that day, but like if I were to take a break and play, like, let's say Street Fighter, could use that as an example. I feel less guilty of doing it because I've already achieved like a drawing goal, something that was more important that day. And I know that's just me talking with that, but that's why I enjoy that sort of stuff. Plus, it also lets me figure out if new work, or if I wanted to, let's just say it's the weekend and I want to work on Jessup King. Well, I can look and see if I've done all my work that week, right? Like my client stuff. And I know not everybody's got clients and things, so it doesn't work the same for everybody, but it lets me see a little bit more of where I can get my free time in, we'll say. And I know that kind of goes against what you what you like with the freedom part, where if, I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, if somebody were to, out of the blue ask you if you wanted to hang out, you want that flexibility, to just say, yeah, sure, I can hang out, I can just draw later. No, V, actually, that's my fault. I haven't shipped it out. I'll be shipping it out on Monday. I apologize for that. That's totally my fault. I see it right here. It's sitting there in the envelope, just waiting to be sent out. Kids, can you talk about character costume design? I can't remember what I was reading, but it was comparing costumes for heroes made now versus the Golden Age. So that's like a whole, like, massive thing. Character design, costume design, all that stuff. It's a lot of work, and comics are a little different. I guess it just depends on you, like what you like to do. Back in the day, and you still see it now, and that's why a lot of the costumes are sort of the way they are. If you draw simple designs, because you have to draw it over and over again, it's gonna. I don't want to say it's gonna be better, but it definitely saves you time. You know how many people complain about, like, Spider-Man's webbing because you got to draw it all the time, but you could draw somebody like Black Panther, where it's really all you're doing is drawing anatomy, and then you just color, right? And that's awesome. But character design, there's a lot that goes into it. Because there's a lot of things, like, you can just draw something that looks cool. A lot of times that works. But a lot of the times, successful character design, to me anyway, comes across with, like, you can find little things in their costume that tell you about their character. Like, this character, for example, I have no idea, like, what's going on. They're just wearing some cool stuff. Lots of buttons and patterns and stuff. A good example of character design, but you might not like it, is the new Ninja Turtles movie. It sort of goes in both ways. Like, I'm not saying the actual design's the way the turtles look, but if you look at them, they have things, like a lot of stuff on them that tells you about their character. Like Michelangelo's got, like, the headset. Donatello's great. Look at him. He's got all this sort of, like, tech around him, all sorts of like utility belts, all these sorts of things, goggles, scopes. Leonardo's got actually like bamboo on him. Like you can tell he meditates. You can tell he's more attuned to like natural things, whereas Donatello is more technological and stuff, right? But drawing those designs over and over again would be oh my god, that would not be fun at all. At least not to me. So you have to kind of know where you can put a lot of design and where you shouldn't. Comics is one of those examples I find where more simpler designs can help you. Unless you got a lot of time or you're very fast at drawing, then you can go ahead and knock out very detailed costumes. Whereas if you're doing video games and movies, you can be as detailed as you'd like, because once it goes to a modeler, after that it's just a model that's moving around. It's not like it's being remade all the time, right? If you plan, that's fine too. For the Pomodoro stuff, if you only want to do a couple, that's cool. Some people dig using apps. You might like that too. And one of the benefits of using like an app, I suppose, over paper in a way is you can keep track of how many hours you've worked on something, like a task, which is great because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you always feel like you're not drawing enough, or you feel like you did enough this week and it's okay, and you look and you're like, wow, I only actually did 2 hours of drawing this week. But my days were so busy that it felt like I drew more. And like 2 hours a week it's not even enough. Let alone like where you want to be, it's not enough to improve if that's what you're looking for. Or if you got like a personal project, it's definitely not enough to actually start seeing that stuff come through. That's what I like about the apps anyway. You can kind of keep track of that stuff. There's also paper versions people have made, or you can just journal it. Hey, Pfeiffer. Actually, I don't even think there was knuckles on what I saw. I'll put them in anyway. Screw it. Get that nice stretch in there for that. And we're going to have this really cool technique here to show the rips in the clothing. Some people might not like it. Hopefully it turns out it can be one of those things that's just like, ugh, digital. It just looks nasty. So we got like this big massive hand. Whoop, forgot a finger. So what can I talk about with this? I feel like a lot of this stuff I just keep saying the same things over and over again, but different people will hear it at different times. But this sort of thing here, I try to be quick. It's one of the things I've learned with this workflow is just be somewhat fast about it, because it's just a launching point to the inks. It's not meant to be like the end all. It's pretty much to get me to the next part. So we're just going to draw some more lines here, just to make it look like there's actually more detail in here than there is in the arm. Let's go ahead and make this cross. I want to put a little bit of perspective on it, just to show that it's coming at us. Alright, so we're going to fill it. It's not totally like that. We're going to run our action here. There we go. Just make it into some lines. Yeah, am I saying your name right? Saida? Or Saida? Is that how you say it? They're saying taking enough time to get the stuff done. every week is so important for beginners like myself, and that's so true. Even for people like myself too. Maybe like, and I do need to study more and schedule time in to actually practice more, right? Because sometimes we feel like, or I feel anyway, like it's time to just up our game a little bit, or just sort of get certain things drawn better and all that stuff. And yeah, if you're not actually tracking your time, it's more just based on emotion. To if you're actually accomplishing like a goal that you want, and yeah, keeping track of that stuff definitely helps. Just erasing some of the lines here on the face. Okay. So how does this go? He's kind of got this. So I just want to make sure I get the arm in here, but we're going to start ripping this up here. And a lot of the ink is going to help with this as well. Let's get some folds. Alright, so we're going to run our script here, our action, to start turning lines into shapes. So, this is just like how I like to do it. Let's grab my lasso tool, just so you guys can kind of see what's going on. And we're just making shapes. Now, the idea here is we're going to be turning these black lines into line art, right? So how do we describe this? So I have all of them on their own layer. We're going to select just by holding Control, and you can click inside the image here, and it gets the marquee in there. And all you got to do is just reduce the selection size, and then fill it with white, or just delete it, and it instantly looks like line art. When you're working like this, I mean, you can always just, which I'll end up doing later anyway, is what's it called here? Can't speak. I'm thinking. Is draw over top of it afterwards to get like line art or line weight. And actually, I'm going to grab this brush. I don't know how this is going to work, so just bear with me. It's going to get like a little bit of a texture to it. Hoping it might give us some little bit of a cloth here. So let's run our thing here. Ooh, that looks gross. Yeah, I don't like that texture brush at all. Alright, so let's just grab our, where's our inking brush? And I'm just going to erase some holes in there too, see how that works. Yeah, it looks a little better. Does take some finessing for sure. Maybe we can get like a nice circular rip here. It's almost like drawing lightning right now, which might not be the best. Alright, so I'm going to have this, I'm going to merge these two together. And see, if you turn it to multiply, it'll go right through there. So what I'm going to do is you can actually just start erasing lightly some of these areas, and it just breaks up the line art a little bit, so it doesn't look as, like, hopefully it doesn't look as, like, atrocious here. And sometimes you can actually notice it, like, adds more detail to it. This kind of looks like blood, so we'll fix some of this up, beat it up a bit. Speaking of, have you been able to get some more done on Jessup? I don't think you've made it to live stream months. No, I haven't been live streaming at all to make room for some client stuff and personal work. I just did post a video today actually talking about just a snag I've run into where it's like the new shiny stuff is always getting in my way, and it's breaking my attention and my focus. And I'll actually run it through with you guys very, very quickly here, just so you can kind of see it. Where is it? Okay, we'll take a break after I show you guys this here. Wow, that went by quick. Jeez. Webcomic tree. So what it is it's like a tree. Really, the idea of it. And there's three components to it: the soil, the trunk of the tree, and the branches of the tree. The soil is like the root of what it is that the project is always about. What got you turned on to do it? The trunk is sort of like the amalgamation of what it is that's inspiring you to turn that into something. And then the branches are like all the branches that come from the trunk. So the story, the script, what's it called? The art, all sorts of things, right? So for me, the soil part here, all I did is I started just jamming down the things that got me interested to start Jessup King anyway, and I just put them down here. You can see the video: Mega Man, Power Rangers, Street Fighter, Ninja Turtles, bullying, Star Wars, veganism. These are all things that are like the veganism and the bullying. That's sort of like the real world stuff. The underlining belly that I would like to address without pounding somebody in the face with it. You can sort of just like, even if you, let's say, a lot of people do it too, where they talk about God, they believe in God, or they believe in something other than what's here. And in that story, they might have like people that believe in something, and by the end of it, you might have like a guy that, a great example is like Han Solo from Star Wars. He doesn't believe in the Force at all. At all, right? At all. And then if you watch the new one, The Force Awakens, you know, there's that character change where he's like, hey, I've seen some stuff that I can't explain, and, you know, it's legit. There's stuff out there that the Force is real, you know, that sort of thing. And the Force could be, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying with that, right? So I like to include that sort of stuff in my stories, and veganism is something I'm very passionate about. So I'm going to use that in a way that hopefully doesn't punch people in the face with it, right? It's more of just like I'm going to be using robots in place of actual animals, so that what I hope is that people can read it and they can see like these things happening to robots. Will say it. It's you know, it's sort of like a lot of movies and shows already do this. It's really well done, where like you can show empathy in a machine. You sort of humanize it, and the idea is you get your message through a machine. Instead of telling people. So like, let's say bullying. You say like bullying is wrong. You shouldn't pick on the small fat kid or the small anorexic kid, right? But if you show like a machine in that way, it sort of removes it a little bit, but you see it and you still feel like, yeah, that's still wrong, right? So doing that sort of thing. So anyway, I like to work it. This is the design thing of picking three elements and putting them together. So for me, I wanted to pick the three things because I enjoy all these things, and if I had it all in there, it might start to just have too much stuff. And 3 is a good number to work around. So Jessup King's really the flavor of the energy and stuff of Power Rangers meets Star Wars with an underlining tone of veganism, at least my view on it. So, and then the trunk that comes from all of this juice, this rich soil, is Jessup King is about a farmer who has taken up the fight to protect life in the galaxy, and it's Star Wars-y. Right, it's Power Rangers-ish, a little bit of veganism mixed in there. Right, it's enough to keep me grounded. And the branching from this comes from like the story and the ideas. And again, watch the video for all that. You can hear where I'm bouncing it back and forth. But the main reason why I wanted to show you is why I haven't been producing stuff is because I've been going down the road of, wouldn't it be cool if it was a little bit darker, a little edgier? What if I wanted to color it? All these things. But now that I've solidified this, every idea I ever come up with going forward, I can bounce it off this. The dark and edgy stuff. Is that Power Ranger-ish? No, not really. Is it Star Wars? It could be, but not the Star Wars I like. It's a little bit more lighthearted, you know? So it doesn't belong, so get it out. It's sort of like an editor that's here that I don't have to ever worry about. This is my post that no matter how interested I get in other things or things that grab my attention, I always have to come back to this to keep the book honest, to keep it 100% what it was meant to be from the beginning. And of course, as you work on something, it's going to grow. You're going to, you know, get new influences and things, but you can still bounce them back and go, does it apply to this? Because if it doesn't, then it doesn't belong. It belongs in another project. And ideally, this keeps the project moving forward and consistent because I don't always have to wonder about like how do I fit it in. It's more of a like yes, it does belong, so it can come in more organically than that. So anyway, yeah, check that. The video went up today actually, so you can check that out. Anyway, I know that was really rambly, but give me a second here. I'm just going to take another 5-minute break here, and then we'll be right back, and we'll set another pomodoro. Where are we looking here? Okay, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Alright, let's get back to it. Hey all the new people, how are you? Alright, let's get the Pomodoro done. You know what, this will be the fourth one. Actually, I want to go play some Street Fighter for my break, but I'm thinking I might just jam through instead of doing like the 15-minute break there, just keep drawing with you guys. Because I actually want to, I'm like, well, maybe I can do some Street Fighter and I'll stream it, but like, it's going to like make so many YouTube streams, it's ridiculous. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's keep this going. Keep it going fast. Alright, so that's enough rips and tears and stuff like that. So let's keep going with the body here. Whoops. Get some folds in there. And I'm just going to cut this off here. When I get to the actual inking, I'm going to break up this so it's not just like flat lines. Break it up, I mean like make it look, you know, like something like this. It looks a little bit more looks a little bit more better. What is that? Make it look a little more complete. Actually, you know what we might be able to do? Let's see, maybe we could do some Overwatch for like 15 minutes or something, but like I said, it's going to look like crap. We'll see. I'm getting excited for my break. Let's focus on what we're doing here. Alright, thanks. Yeah, thanks for popping in. Have a good night. So I think this character's done. Actually, you know what? Let me lower this down a bit. So let's see how that's looking. I have it for both. However, I got it on PS4 because my computer's not very good and the game looks really bad. I've tried to do the best I can with it, but on PS4 it doesn't play as good. I find it plays very slow and it's not as like enjoyable. I do find playing at PC is way more enjoyable. Just like I don't know if it's the people playing or what level of skill. I don't know. Like you can do more, you know. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. Just give me 1 second here to do this tattoo thingy on their eye. I'll go this way with it. It comes down. Goes that way. Goes this way. And I'm going to cut it up because there's some sharper points on it. Oh, I'm totally with you on that, Inkbot. Yeah, it really is a much different experience for sure. I think they're both great. I mean, play what you got. I just double dipped, and I really shouldn't have. But whatever. Because the sad part is, like, I've just been playing Street Fighter like non-stop for the last little while. I love it. I absolutely love it. Alright, we're going to do some cheese here. Oh, no, that's wrong. I want this guy. So we're going to make these wings. But actually drawing them here. Yeah, we'll go inside the box. Other layer. Oh, that was bad. This weird tail energy thing. Okay, so let's start running our action on these things. There we go. So the wings, we're going to erase them. Where do they go? They kind of go on the side here. This one will actually make it look like they're behind it. Let's just get this little bit of pattern going. I'm going to ink a bunch of this stuff anyway. Some more detail in there. Okay, so I think this one's pretty much done. So the next step I'll do here is I'm just going to start merging everything here. So it's all one layer. I'm going to shut off our other layer there so we don't see through it. And I'm just going in here just connecting the dots. Good, looks good. Now this is where it gets a little hairy because there's a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, I'll put line weights and all that stuff here. Just trying to look on the outside. This will all make sense in a second. And again, you don't have to be that precious with this stuff either. Okay, well let's see what we got here. So we're going to grab our wand tool, select from current layer. Actually, this is probably going to go in here, isn't it? No, actually, cool. Okay. So I'm trying to make sure that it's not going inside the line art. It's like right there I screwed up, so let me just start this again. Okay. Let's get in there, get in here, get in there, get in there. This is just hard to see. Let's pick some of these bigger areas. Okay, should be good. And then if we just run our other action, Yeah, see, so what it does is just puts like a contour liner on everything, which makes our next step of inking easier. But that's a little thick, so I'm probably just going to go down to maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll do 2. 2 looks good, doesn't look too gross. And we can go ahead and do our final inks on top of that. So what I'll do is I'm just going to save this here, because this is our line arts that are final. And we can delete all this, because we're not going to need it anymore. This next layer, I'm going to merge with that. Edit, where is it? Layer, combine selected layer. I'm going to make that gray again. And make a new folder. This one's for inks. That way we're all set for that. And we're not going to need this guy anymore. I'm just sort of cleaning up the file here to reduce the size. Because as we keep going here, right, because we're in the line art, next stage we're going to be doing is inking. It's always building on the previous one, but I don't want to keep making these files massive as they get more and more, because you don't need it, right? All I need in this one is just the artwork, and we'll worry about the line or the line weights and all that stuff as we ink. So this one's good. Let's go on to the next one. Should we do Punisher? Yeah, we'll do Punisher now. No, I think I still have it open. Yep, I do. Okay, cool. Yes, that was VF. So this one here, we got the Punisher. And let's see what we got going on this. Alright, so let's F3 this action. Now this is where, I think these are still... Yeah, we'll see how this one goes here. Just talking to myself. Turn those guns off for a sec. So I'm turn that brightness up just to lower that opacity down a little bit more. Alright, so let's draw the Punisher. I like giving the Punisher like a fatter nose. Give him like lots of frows in his brow. Actually, I think I'm just going to bring this over a little more. Yep, this is for Patreon, yep. This is done on a Cintiq, the 12WX, the old small model. Just flipping it here so we can kind of get a different view. Make sure we get those Vegeta lines in there nice and prominent. Forgot to save here, so let's make sure we're not losing the stuff. So erase this and go to lines. I just want to make sure I get a... Yeah, I don't really like that. Let's get some of his costume elements in here. Oh, you gotta have massive traps, right? Gotta have it. So he's looking thick. Awesome. Alright, let's get the arm kind of happening here. So he's got a glove, so I want to make sure I get the glove lines in there, and then now I'm gonna just make this get ripped. Get the massive tricep in there. What was the longest drawing session I've ever had? I don't know. I know it had, well, I'm pretty sure it had to have been probably on the standard comic book I was working on there, when one of the deadlines had to happen. But I've been very fortunate that most of the projects I work on, you know, if it's my fault or otherwise that a deadline's missed, that I've been able to not have to like do multiple days on end. Like, you know, sleep's important. Because then I find anyway, like my distraction, like even if it was a deadline, it's like it's gone. If I can't focus, like doesn't even matter. So I don't know. We'll say maybe 24 hours, maybe even less than that, maybe 20 hours I've done. Can't imagine I've done more than that. Could be wrong though. So I'm going to make his traps even bigger. So his shoulder doesn't look weird. Muscles going in there. Let's go ahead and give him his little belt here. How does this work? I believe he's got... Just going to have to zoom in a little bit here for this one. So he's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to put the little pockets here. What's really cool about working like this too, guys, I talk about it all the time, I know, is you're able to get some really fun designs and stuff just by using like a silhouette, and that's what this is here, right? So I can put like little divots up here, and then the line art's going to create like this really interesting, hopefully anyway, shape that lets us go ahead and, right, like check this out. We're going to put this here like a little pocket, little balls there. Once we get in the line art, it just makes it look a lot more interesting than how we normally would do it. Or not normally do it, but just how you would, I guess, think about drawing something to start with. So as you can see, we got some overlapping problems. I'm just going to start dragging this stuff down so we get like the correct overlap. Right, so that fixes it there. And yep, so now I'm just going to merge it down. cool. Lower the opacity a bit so I can just erase the parts that shouldn't have this overlap. Frankfurt. That was good. I like that. Frank Fortress. Alright, should be good. So let's like bring the opacity up on these guys. Alright, so it's a real cheesy way of getting yeah, he is actually really friggin' ripped. Oh well. It's all about having fun with commissions, right? If I worry about it being perfect, or if it's somebody else's definition of perfect, like it's just not gonna be, it's not gonna be fun. You big kitty cat. Hey Ras, how you doing? So check it out. So this is what I was talking about. So we got like these pockets. I mean, it does require a little bit of thought, and some people might not. I don't want to say it's advanced because I don't want to say it is and it isn't advanced because it is and it isn't. Wow, was that ever circular logic? But sometimes these things here, like you can start getting pretty creative just by using the shapes that are there to turn it into something, right? But just like that, we've got something else here, right? So maybe we got some little things that come down like this. I don't know. Let's get just a little bit of texture. It's got like a weird kind of lock on it. I'll do the same for this side. Just like detail to it, right? That doesn't, you know, it's not normally always there. So let's get the guns in here now. Let's get the pistol. And if we turn that back to normal, it'll actually... See, so let me try this. Sometimes this works, sometimes this doesn't. If I overlap it, it should get darker. Whoops. What happened? Turn it normal. Just want to duplicate it. Change that to multiply. So you see how it's getting darker, but watch what happens. Like, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, but then when I want to merge it all together, it might not work. Layer, combine, selected. Oh, it did work. Okay, weird. I guess sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's odd. So I'm actually going to do this one more time here, because what I'm trying to do is match it somewhat close to the line art that I've already got going on. But if you do it too much, it starts really getting granular and nasty. Like it's just, there's a point of no returns with it. So layer, combine selected layer. Okay, so we're gonna have that there. So we got a pistol. Just zoom out a little bit so you guys can kind of see what I'm seeing. And then we're gonna do the rifle here as well. So change that to normal. Multiply. We're gonna duplicate the hell out of this here. Select all the rifle, and then layer. Let's see if it works. Cool. Lost a little bit of the integrity there, but that's fine. And then put it on multiply so we can draw through it. Same with the pistol. Alright. And actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually turn both of them to blue lines. Just so I can see through it a little bit better. Rotate it here. So these knuckles got to get smaller as they get away from us here. hands are wrapping around the gun itself. Actually, I don't like it being round like that. Let's make it more square. Alright, well, now it's time for a longer break. So what should we do here, guys? You guys let me know. I can go take a, break wherever. Or we can load up some Overwatch, get a game or two in, and then come back to it. I really don't know how good it's going to look. It's probably going to look like crap. Oh, did it? Okay, well, let's save this up here. I'll just figure out what we're doing. I use raster layers. I've never really messed around with the vector layers. I hear some people... Let me just turn this music off here. It's starting to get a little... I've heard some people swear by it. I don't know. I don't usually ever need to draw bigger than 600 DPI. So I've never had to really worry about it. Okay, what I think we'll do here, let's try this out. Actually, no, I'm gonna take a break. I was just thinking about Overwatch. I'm like, I actually don't really want to start that up because that could lead to some really dangerous stuff. So actually, I'm gonna just take a break, get away from some digital stuff, go play with the cats. I'm gonna be back in about 15 minutes. So if you guys aren't waiting around or anything, that's fine too. Or if you are, I'll see you guys when I get back. But thanks for everybody that's stuck around, give me some conversation today. Really appreciate that. And I'll talk to you guys in a little bit here. Let me just see here. Can I? Oh, not that one. Add text. 15-minute break. Does that work? There we go. Okay, so I'll be right back in 15 minutes, guys. I'll keep this going on for you guys that want to hear it. If not, I totally understand. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Actually, okay, guys, I'm just popping back real quick here. Sorry to startle you. I was just looking around, and I actually got to get going. I apologize. But I just want to say thank you, everybody that was popped in today. Do appreciate it. And we'll see if we can get another stream happening pretty soon. This is it's always fun to stream with you guys, but we'll see how things are going. And thank you again. And I hope everything you guys are up to is giving you great success, and you guys are having fun drawing, just like I'm doing it, and all that good stuff. So thank you guys. Keep reading comics, keep making comics, and we'll see you very shortly. Actually, maybe trying to think, maybe on the weekend, like on Sunday or something, we might be able to do a little bit of a stream. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to promise anything, but thanks, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.